Hello everyone, welcome to PHP Teacher Online. I am Raju Kundu from India. I have been teaching web development and different programming languages like Java, .NET, Laravel and other things for many years now. And I have decided to share my knowledge through YouTube videos and get started. I'll be sharing JavaScript course at the first, and if people gets benefited from it and people do like, share and follow me, and I see like many of the subscribers are there who are willing to get more videos of the same, then I'll be creating more different videos. Apart from JavaScript, I'll be creating jQuery, Java, PHP, Laravel, codeigniter, and object-oriented programming, and different sort of videos for everyone. Uh, Please do share and follow and subscribe, and do support me so I can create more videos for you for free, and you can grab the knowledge or might get benefited from my videos. Thank you. Let's get started with the actual course. Okay, so get started with JavaScript course, and first of all, I have created a folder called as JavaScript course, and inside that I have created a file to explain few things to you before we get started. Like, some of the theories are needed. So basic of JavaScript, I have written it, and inside this text file, basically what I have is this much content. So I'll be explaining what is this content all about. And I know, like, people who are watching this, there might be some people who are well known to programming, and there might be some people who have no knowledge about programming. So I will try to teach it in a way everyone can understand the thing, like how JavaScript works and how programming works. I will try to make it as simple as I can so everyone can understand. Maybe even a boy with the age of 10 or 12 years can understand this thing. So I'll try to do it that way. Okay, so now first of all, the thing we want to know is what is JavaScript. Okay, so JavaScript is generally called as client-side scripting language, or sometimes it is also called as event-driven programming language. Now there is a bit of a difference between programming language and scripting language that I'll explain lately, not now, maybe later I'll explain those things. But right now we have to understand what is client-side scripting language. Like, there are two terms. One is client-side scripting language, and the other one is server-side scripting or programming language. Okay, so what is the basic difference between them? Basically, you see, we do PHP, Python, Java servlet, those kind of programming, right? So they are called as server-side scripting or programming languages. Server-side means whenever you surf through internet, and the internet's web pages are built using some programming languages, those programming languages basically reside inside the hosting company's server from where the website is getting hosted. Okay, now whenever a programming is running in the hosting company server, or in the server, basically not in your computer. Suppose you are accessing Google, that means Google is not inside your computer. Google is somewhere else, resided in a server. Now, through a programming, Google has been created and kept inside that server that you are using. So now that particular programming language will be called as server side programming language, because it is residing inside the server computer, not in your computer. But in case of JavaScript, whenever we are using JavaScript, what it does, it consumes your computer's processor and RAM power to execute, or to become, or to do the things it should do. Okay, it will consume your computer's RAM, and your RAM means random access memory, and your computer CPU or processor to complete the task. Okay, so that way, as it is using your resources, that's why it is called as client-side programming or scripting. And PHP or Python or Java servlet, those kind of things are using server's resources, not your resources. That, for that way, it is called as server side programming or scripting language. Okay, I think it is clear up to here. Now I'll go for the next part. Now, for the next bit, why it is called as event driven programming or scripting language. Okay, now that comes second into our mind, why it is called as event driven programming language. Because you see, I'll give you an example for this. Suppose Windows, okay, whenever you click on this button, this pop-up comes out. Whenever we right click somewhere, some pop-up comes out. Or if we click on some particular button or text, then some action gets performed. That means whenever we are clicking, now click or right click or double click or maybe typing through our keyboard, these are called as events. Okay, now whenever we are performing some event, something is happening. This kind of programmings are called as event driven programming. That means in JavaScript also, whenever you will be clicking, double clicking, or maybe right clicking, or maybe doing some other stuff, maybe hovering over some particular element, this type of things, whenever you will be doing, some particular thing will happen. So as the event is that mouse click or keyboard typing, those are the events, and on those events something is happening. That is why JavaScript is also called as event driven programming language. Okay, so this is the reason behind that particular name. Now as this is an event driven programming language, that means there should be some list of events available to control those things. Now I am listing some of them. Remember, these 15s that I have listed are only some of them. These are not the all. Okay, that means there exist more and more events for JavaScript and also in jQuery, but I am just listing some of them. So some of them are like this, like you can see, list of the events are, first is onload. Now what is onload? Now people out there who are viewing this video, some of you might also already worked on HTML or knows HTML. If not, I'll be sharing HTML CSS videos also later on, so you can learn from them. So people who knows HTML, they know that there are different tags available in HTML, like HTML title, head, body, and many other sort of tags are available. Among those, in the body tag, whenever a HTML gets loaded into the browser, okay, whenever a HTML gets loaded into the browser, and during that time when the load gets completed, that particular thing is an event. Okay, that particular thing, like whenever your page gets fully loaded into a browser, that particular thing is an event. Okay, that event can be captured in JavaScript using this onload event. Okay, onload is an event. Using onload, we can understand or we can capture that particular moment when our whole HTML page gets loaded into the browser. Apart from that, you can see I have mentioned other events as well, like on click, on DBL click. On click is clear, like whenever we click on something. On DBL click means whenever we double click on something. On mouse move, on mouse move means whenever we move around our mouse inside the browser body area. Okay, so that means that particular event. Then on mouse over, that means suppose there is a button and we have hovered our mouse pointer on that button, like suppose I am hovering my mouse pointer over list of events right now. So that particular event is called as on mouse over. Then on mouse out is just the reverse one. Whenever we get our mouse pointer out of that particular element, that particular thing is called as on mouse out. Then what is on mouse down? On mouse down means whenever you click and hold your left mouse button and do not release it, that particular moment is called as on mouse down. Whenever you release your left button, left mouse button, that is that particular moment is called as on mouse up. Now I do not know whether all of you know or not. uh, on click is basically a combination of on mouse down and on mouse up. I'll prove it to you. Suppose I have opened this particular browser. Okay, I have opened this browser. Now if I click and hold my mouse button on this particular cross icon and then release it in that same place, then this particular event is called as a click, and that's why my browser was closed. Now again, watch closely. If I open this browser again, but this time I am clicking on that red button, but it is not clicking. My mouse is currently in down position on that red cross button, but I am moving my mouse outside of that cross button and releasing my mouse. That means on mouse up. The browser did not close. Why? Because it is not a click. Because I have mouse, I have clicked on the mouse down Then I have clicked on the mouse out or mouse up, but in a different place, not in the same place. That is why that is not a click. If I have done that one in the same place, then it should have been closed, because this is a click event. Okay, so basically there are several different events. There are mouse drag events also. Like dragging means something, if I want to drag this thing around, so this is a mouse drag event. Okay, so all these events exist. I'll teach them one by one later, and maybe in jQuery courses also. But here just understand, mouse down means whenever you clicking and holding down your left mouse button, that is mouse down. Whenever you are releasing it, that is mouse up. And if that is in a combination together, like back to back in the same place, that means it's a on click. Okay, then there is on key up. On key up means whenever you press down your keyboard's key and release it, that is on key up. And if you continuously hold down your keyboard's key, that is on key down. That is this one. That is this one. Okay, number 10. And on key up is number 9. Then on key press. On key press means suppose you are keep typing things, like I am typing a paragraph. So you can tell that one as on key press. That means combination of mouse of keyboard down and keyboard up, both. Okay, then on focus. Now what is on focus? Let me explain. Suppose I have a new tab over here, like file and new file. Okay, now I have one tab. Now I can switch around them, right? Here and here, here and here. Now whenever I am emphasizing on a particular tag, that is becoming bolder and clearer, so that means that's a on focus. Okay, but the other one is getting blurred or getting the focus lost. So the focus, losing the focus is on blur, that is number 13, and gaining the focus is on focus, that is number 12. Okay, so these are the basic examples of on focus and on blur. Okay, later when we will be doing some practical things, you will understand it more better. Then after that, you can see there is another one that is called as on change. Now what is on change? On change is basically, you might have seen drop downs in different places, like this is a drop down as well, right? So this is a drop down. So whenever from the drop down I am selecting a particular thing, suppose I have selected face, so that this particular event is on change, because I am changing to certain options from the drop down. Okay, so I am selecting this one, this is n generate, this is now on change, this is again on change. Okay, so whenever I am doing something like that, like changing to other options, that is called as on change. Now last one is on submit. Okay, now what is on submit? On submit means people who knows to build HTML, they already know that there is a tag in HTML called as form. Now you can submit a form. You can submit a form means, suppose a form contains certain fields, like you want to register to a website and you have filled in with your name, age, or maybe address, or maybe email address and password, and then you are clicking on a button to submit your details to that server or to that program, so it can accept you and register you in that system. Okay, so that on submit event, that means whenever a form is triggered with the submit button and the form gets submitted, that particular event is called as on submit. So this is it for all these events that I have listed over here, and I have explained what is JavaScript and what are its aspects and all those things. Now we will be diving into a small program. Okay, through that program I'll just explain you like how JavaScript is working, how things are getting changed. That's it, not much, just little things, because this is just the first class of the course. So this course might take 10 class, 9 class, might take 14 to 16 class, I don't care, but I want to explain each and everything in details, and slowly but surely, so people can understand it clearly. Okay, so that's my motto. Okay, now let's dive in to create a new file, which I have already created, and now I'll be writing some like very little basic HTML over here, and inside that HTML I'll be writing a JavaScript program. So now let's get started with that now. So I'm going to save this file first. Like inside that JavaScript course folder, I'll save it in the name of, like, say first program dot html. Okay, I'm going to save this one as html. Now I am another thing is I am using Komodo edit 6.1. this is like very old kind of a editor. You can use any one that you prefer, like maybe Sublime, maybe You can use notepad plus plus, maybe other, like I am not recommending any particular one. Whichever you are using currently or whichever you are comfortable with, you can download it for the free version from the internet and you can use that one. I don't care. I am comfortable with this Komodo edit, so I keep using this one only. Okay, so Sublime is also I am comfortable. You can even write the program inside a notepad. That's up to you. Okay, so I am saving this file as a HTML file because inside that HTML file I'll create a basic HTML part and also the JavaScript part to explain you the programming. Okay, now let's save it. After saving, as you can see, the file is totally empty, blank. So first I'll write some basic of HTML to get started. Okay, that is HTML tag and HTML tag end, and then there should be a head tag and the head tag will end, and there should be a title tag and that title tag will end, and inside that title tag I'll write like my first JavaScript program. Okay, and then inside the head area, like not inside, outside the head area, I'll create a body tag and I'll end it. Then inside this body tag area I'll write I am learning JavaScript from PHP teacher online, and like this. Okay, so this is a basic HTML file that I have created with the title and some content inside the body area. Now let's open this file. So I'll go to my JavaScript course folder, and inside that I'll double click on this one, or I'll open the browser first. This one I have to do it over here, so let's double click it, and yeah, see, so now I'll arrange things up for you. Like this will go here, this will go here. Now you can see, so this is a basic thing that I have created using HTML. This my first JavaScript program is written in the title over here, as you can see, and this body part area is written over here, as you can see. Okay, so this is a basic HTML part I have created. Now what I want to do, or what I want to achieve through this program, what I want to do, I will be creating a JavaScript with a function. Now, what is a function? I'm going to explain that right now. A function is basically, you can assume it this way, like people around us do certain works. Okay, someone is constructing a building, someone is constructing a road, someone is creating some food or cooking some food, or someone is creating a motorcycle or bike or whatever. Okay, someone is developing or manufacturing a car. So everyone is doing their own job in their own way, so this works or jobs can be called as a function. Okay, but if you notice, suppose you want someone to build your house, like a person who is capable of building house will not create your house until you ask for it, right? When you will ask, like, please create my house and I am going to pay you, or maybe please create my house, then only that person will come and create your house. Okay, until you call him up, he will not create your house automatically. Okay, similarly in JavaScript, or in any programming language, you can say, in JavaScript mainly I am telling right now, like you can create different functions. Okay, like some functions may change color, some functions may do some animation, so these sort of functions can be created. But that does not mean like you have created the function and it will start working automatically. After creating those functions, you will have to call them. Okay, now how you will have to call them? Remember, I have taught you some basic events. Through these events you will have to call those functions. Like you want something to be done, maybe the color needs to be changed when you click someone, or maybe the color needs to be changed when you hover over that element. Okay, or maybe when you go mouse out from that element, the color will change to some other color again. Okay, so on these events you will have to define, like what will happen when I do this particular bit. So that means functions can be written on the starting, but that does not mean function will work automatically. After writing those functions, you will have to write some events to call those functions. Once you call those functions, then they will perform their particular task, whatever you have written inside those functions. Okay, so I'm going to show how to write a function now, and then after that I will show how to call that function. Okay, so to write a function, what you have to do is inside the head area of HTML, you will have to open a tag called as script and also close it out. Then even in this particular tag, if you start writing the function, it will work, but I would prefer it in another way. Like try to write type over here and then text slash JavaScript. This way it is more appropriate. Okay, if you do not write it, it will still work, but this way it is more appropriate. And there is a reason behind this also, but that I cannot explain you right now. If we move to like PHP programming, then I can explain you why I am writing this particular bit. Okay, now over here, let's focus on how to write a function. To write a function, first you need to write down a keyword that is called as function itself. Okay, so function will be the keyword. After that you will have to give a space. Okay, after the space you can write a function name. So function name can be anything, but remember, in between the function name you cannot use a space, you cannot use a hyphen. You can use a underscore, but space and hyphen is not allowed in between the function name. Also, at the beginning of the function name, do not use any number like this. Like you cannot write, suppose the function name is my name, Raju. Okay, so do not write it this way, like 9 Raju or 1 Raju. This is bad. You cannot do that. In between you can use any number, that is fine. In between you can use any underscore, that is fine also, but you cannot use a hyphen or you cannot use a space. These are illegal function names. Okay, if you want to write it properly, then write it together with the underscore, or maybe a number. Okay, and or at the end also you can use a number, that is also fine, but at the beginning you cannot use a number. Remember these things. Okay, these are rules, or these are syntax, the proper syntax of JavaScript basically. Okay, now after that you have to give a bracket start and a bracket end. Then you'll have to start a curly bracket and curly bracket end, and do this curly bracket below, because this way it is more organized. You can write it in a one line, that will work too, but that is not organized, that will look bad. So do it this way. Some people write it this way, this is also fine, but you can also write it this way, this is also fine. Okay, that is up to you. Like you have to organize things clearly, so it is more clear to be viewed, and later on the adjustments can be made quickly. And if suppose like my name is Raju Kundu, so I have two words in my name, right? Like the name and the surname, first name and the last name, you can say. So in that case, what JavaScript actually prefers is, either you can write it this way, either you can write it this way, like Raju then underscore then a Kundu, but this is not the better way. The better way will be for JavaScript is camel case. That means Raju in small letters, everything, but for Kundu, K will be in capital, because that is a separate word. So whenever a new word comes in, that particular character of the first character of that word should be in capital. This is called as camel case. So try to write function names in this way. But I am writing it Raju Kundu in camel case, that is fine, but this function will actually be changing the background color of this HTML. Okay, currently it is white, I might make it to aqua, so it will be changing the background color of this HTML. So according to that, this function name is not appropriate. This function name should have been change color, that would be more appropriate. But right now, just to show you things, I am writing my own name. You can write your own name, or you can even write change color or color change, whatever you want. Okay, that is up to you. Any name you can give, but do follow those rules, like do not add any number at the beginning, do not use space in between the function name, do not use hyphen between the function name. You can use underscore or camel case or numbers in between or numbers at the end. Okay, now after this, in the body area of the function, now this is the body area of the function, this is function keyword, this is your function's name, this is a syntax that you have to mention, although this has a meaning also that I'll explain later on in the course. And this bracket start end, and in between, this is the body area of the function. So here I'll be writing document dot body dot bg color. Please do emphasize on this. Bg color, C is in capital because bg color is two different words. So bg in small, color C is in capital. Then equals in double quotes we can mention aqua, aqua, that is a color name, and at the end there is a semicolon. So semicolon means this particular line has ended. That means whenever we write a sentence, at the end we use full stop to end that line. So similarly in programming languages they generally use semicolon to end that line, although this does not this is not for all programming languages. Like if you go for Python, they do not use any semicolons at the end. Okay, they have different syntactical rules. So for JavaScript you have to use this semicolon over here. Now what is this document, what is this dot, what is this body, what is this bg color, that I am going to explain later. First let's complete this function and see what it is doing actually. So right now I have completed the function, but I have not called it. I have not used any onload, on click or any other events that I have shown you before over here in this particular page. So I have not called the function, but I have written it. Now if I save it and go here and refresh this page, I will see no difference. There is no color change because the function is written, that is fine, but I have not called it to do the work. That's why it is not working right now. So how can I call this function? As I told you before, like this onload function generally works for the body tag. Okay, so inside the body tag I'll give a space and write onload. That means I am calling that particular event, and inside double quotes I'll be calling my function name. This is my function name. You cannot make any mistake in the spellings. If you do it this way, it will not work. It has to be the same as you have written over here. Okay, remember these things. Now bracket start end and then a semicolon means this particular line has completed. Some people might say this is not required. Even if I do not give that, it will work. Yes, it will work, but it has some drawbacks that I'll teach you later also. Okay, so do mention semicolon at the end of the function call. This particular thing is the function call. This particular thing is the function definition, or you can say I have written the function over here like what it should do, and here I am calling the function on which event, on onload event. Okay, now when I have written this one, now if I save this program and refresh it over here, you see the color has been changed. So that means I am calling the function and it is started to work for me. Okay, if I do not call the function, or if I make the name wrong, like suppose like this, now if I go here and refresh, see it is not working because I have written small k but it is in a capital K. So JavaScript is very much case sensitive. You should follow the case sensitivity over here. So I'll write it again in this way. Similarly, if bg color C is in small letter and if I refresh it over here, it will again not work. But if I make it capital letter again, it will start working. See, it is working now. Okay, so till here it's completed. Now it's time to show you some more broken parts, like what is this all about, what is this all about, what is this all about. Okay, to show that I'll be explaining it in more details now. Okay, this document stands for, you can say JavaScript understands like document means this whole HTML page. Okay, now inside that we can find body. Now dot means inside, you can say inside. So inside the document it has a body tag. Actually JavaScript do not call these particular bits as a tag. These are elements to JavaScript. Okay, so JavaScript is understanding like inside this document there is an element that is called as body, and inside that body there is an attribute called as bg color. Now what is attribute? People out there who are viewing this video who knows HTML already, they might know like there is an attribute called as bg color over here. Now you might have noticed I have not used camel case in this place because HTML is not case sensitive. You can write it in capital letters, you can write it in small letters, either way it is going to work for you. Okay, so if I mention red over here, suppose I am mentioning red over here and I am making this function call wrong by doing this color like this. If I refresh it now, it will show red color. Why? Because I have mentioned bg color as red over here, and here I have made a mistake. That's why the color is not getting changed to aqua. But if I change it to C again, capital C, then if I refresh it, it is going to be that aqua color. Now how it is working? Basically when your HTML gets loaded to your browser, This whole content is coming from your RAM or random access memory from your computer. Okay, now once it is coming from your computer, JavaScript has the power to manipulate that particular content residing in your RAM or random access memory. So what it is doing, first when the page is loading, the RAM has the content like the bg color should be red, but once your JavaScript onload event and this function gets triggered, it is changing that particular red color to aqua. I'll prove it to you. Okay, so again I'll make this mistake, okay, in small c. So right now it is red. Now this content is coming from RAM, right? How can I see it? You can right click over the browser, you can click on inspect, a box will appear like this. Okay, and as you can see in the body tag we have bg color written as red, correct? You can see it red over here. Then if I rectify this particular bit again and if I refresh it over here, you will see that red will become aqua once I refresh it. Check it. See, this red has become aqua. So what JavaScript is doing, JavaScript is manipulating your RAM content after the page gets loaded. So once the page is loading, that time it actually has this red value, but after the load gets completed, it is changing that particular bit to aqua because we have written all the things in appropriate syntax that should be written over here. Okay, so this is how JavaScript works. First it loads your HTML, then on different events like on load, on click and other sort of events, it changes your value or data according to the program or code you have written over here. So this you can say this is a program that I have written over here to change the color to aqua from red maybe, or from white, or from any color. If I want to change it to green now, so I can make it green. So save it and then refresh it over here and you can see it is green. Now it is written as green. See, the color has been changed. Where the color has been changed? Not in your file. Your file it is red, but the color has been changed inside your browser. The content is coming from your RAM or random access memory. There it has made the change. So this is the way JavaScript works, and this is why it is called as client-side programming language or event-driven programming language. Okay, or scripting language also you can say. So I think this is it for the first class, because here I have tried to explain how JavaScript works and the basic things. I'll be explaining more details in the next class. I'll be sharing what are the variables, what are if-else statements, what are logical operators, conditional operators, that there are different operators. So I'll be sharing more and more information in every classes. But please do like, share and subscribe, and do click on that bell icon so you get the notification for my next video. Be the first for that. So do those things and do comment if you have any questions, or if you think I should improvise more my teaching technique, you can explain me that as well. I'll definitely try to do it more better way so you can understand it clearly. So do practice these things, do follow this video, and do it yourself. Do not try to copy things, do it yourself. I have used my name, try to use your own name. Do those things, and I'll be back soon with the next video. And if I see like many people are subscribing and many people are commenting like they want more videos like this, I'll definitely be creating more videos for you, so it will be easier to understand, and each and every bit I'll explain it this way like I have explained in this video. Till then, thank you, goodbye.